Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, children. Good morning. Should we pick up from here? Am I showing you the right question, children?
We completed this, ma'am.
Oh, we completed this. All right. Okay, let's recall. What's the value of x? Yes, children, what is the value of x?
110 degrees, ma'am.
How? Yes, children. Yes, children.
Found A, ma'am.
Which is A? Which one will you mark off as A?
Near that 70 degree, ma'am, which is that linear
Name
pair.
the angle. Name the angle.
O, ma'am. O, ma'am. Angle O.
Using three letters. Using three letters.
Angle POH.
POH. It's also called
HOP, ma'am.
HOP. Angle HOP or angle POH. So we are marking that as A. We call this angle A. Next. Okay, now I understand.
Property, we subtract 180 minus 70.
No, all of us are used to that. Don't start like that. So what A plus 70 is equal to?
A plus 70 is equal to 180 degrees.
Yeah, then A is equal to 180 minus 70, which is 110. So like that, we get A is equal to 110 degrees. Okay, now I understood how we found A. Now tell me what's the value of X?
So using the opposite angle property, X is equal to 110 degrees.
Yeah, in a parallelogram, HOP is given to be a parallelogram. HOP is a parallelogram. So since A and X are opposite angles, they are equal. So A is 110, X is also 110. All right, how do we find Y?
Y is equal to 40 degree, ma'am.
Reason? How?
Alternate angles, ma'am.
Alternate interior angles. See, we should not get confused. They've marked 40 here and Z here. That means this one is Z. This portion is Z. And this portion is 40. This portion is 40. This portion is Z. So parallel line, transversal, parallel line. Parallel line, because in a parallelogram, both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So parallel line, transversal, parallel line. So you can you can see this. You can see the shape: parallel line, transversal, parallel line. So these angles between the parallel line and the transversal. See here, between the parallel line and the transversal. This is the Z we are talking about. This Z. This one. It's a rotated Z, no? See here, it looks like a Z rotated. So like this, between this parallel line and transversal, there is 40 degrees. Between this the same transversal and the other parallel line, or between this parallel line and transversal, is Y. So these are alternate interior angles. These are alternate interior angles. You must choose a shape like this: parallel line, transversal, parallel line. Parallel line, transversal, parallel line. So the angle between the parallel line and the transversal, 40 degrees, and between the other parallel line and the transversal, Y, are alternate interior angles. And they're equal. Because the lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are equal. So y is equal to 40 degrees. Okay, what about Z? What about Z?
30 degree, ma'am.
How?
Ma'am, we
Ma'am, you
HOP triangle, ma'am, and
Yeah.
we must A plus Y plus Z equals to 180, ma'am.
Yeah, using angle sum property in triangle POH or HOP. Yeah, perfect.
Then we get the answer as Z equals to 30, ma'am.
30 degrees. Okay, fine. So in triangle POH, these are the three angles, Y, A and Z. Y, A and Z. So the sum of the three angles is equal to 180. Y plus A plus Z is equal to 180. We know Y is 40 degrees and we know A is 110 degrees. So 40 plus 110 plus Z is equal to 180. Working this, we get Z is equal to 30 degrees. Very good, children. Okay. Let's take up the next one. I think I had given a few sums for you to try by yourself. Correct? This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I hope you all had time to try the homework sums. Fine. So for this one, what is the answer? What's the value of X?
Ma'am, X value is 125, ma'am.
X is 125 degrees.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, explain how you got 125 degrees.
X plus 55 is equals to 180, ma'am.
Why? How do you say that?
Ma'am, because they are adjacent angles and they sum up to 180, ma'am.
Very good.
Supplementary.
So, how do you, now this figure, how do you decide or how do you conclude it's a parallelogram?
Because the arrows show that it's a parallelogram, ma'am.
Yeah, the arrows, it's not given in words. It's not given in words, but the arrows indicate that the figure or the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. You can see both the pairs of opposite sides are marked parallel. Both the pairs of opposite sides are marked parallel. So these arrows indicate that this pair of opposite sides is parallel, and the double arrows here indicate that these two opposite sides are also parallel. So this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. A parallelogram will not have an extension like this. This one is a parallelogram. This one is a parallelogram. This one is a parallelogram. The side is extended. Okay, so don't get confused because of this extension. You shouldn't say that I thought it's not a parallelogram because it has a tail like this. A parallelogram should not have this tail. So it's not like that. This side is produced. This side is produced. This one is a parallelogram. This one is a parallelogram. This side has been extended. And this exterior angle Z is being formed because the side is extended or the side is produced, an exterior angle Z is formed. All right, as I don't know, Sindhu or Sanjay, who was that?
Sanjay, ma'am.
Sanjay, yeah. So Sanjay rightly said X plus 55 is equal to 180 degrees because it's a parallelogram. Adjacent angles are supplementary. In a parallelogram, adjacent angles are supplementary. So X plus 55 is equal to 180. X is equal to 125 degrees. Am I audible, children? My voice is reaching you clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right, children. Yeah. So X plus 55 is equal to 180. Like that, we have X is equal to 125 degrees. All right. Somebody else? Thank you,
Ma'am, y
Sanjay.
is equal.
Somebody else?
Y is equal to 125 degrees, ma'am, because opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal.
Yeah, X is equal to Y because they're opposite angles in this parallelogram. So if X is 125 degrees, Y is also 125 degrees. Kirtana, Raja, Devadarshini. One of you tell me the value of Z. Anish. if you're there. Yes, one of you, Anish or Raja or Kirtana or Devadarshini. One of you tell me, what's the value of Z? How do we find Z?
Opposite angles are equal, ma'am.
Which are opposite angles?
55 degree, 55 degree and X and Y are opposite angles, ma'am.
Yes, X and Y are opposite angles, correct.
And 55 degree and X is on the right side of the X and Z, ma'am. And maybe alternate X plus Z is equal to 180 degree, ma'am.
Reason?
Angles on the same line measures 180 degree, ma'am, because
No,
the
but
sum
they're
of
not.
four angles is equal to 360 degree.
No, 1 minute. So I'll tell you. So see here, both angle, supposing Kirtana, supposing we have a point, we mark this point as T, Kirtana. Supposing we mark this T. Okay, this is T. We mark this point, we take a point on this extended portion and we mark it T. Now, how will you name angle 7? How will you name 70 degrees? Angle? Yes, quickly. If you take a point T here, how will you name 70 degrees? How will you name this angle? Angle P.
Angle PA.
P.
PA, ma'am.
No. See, can you see this angle here? Can you see this angle marked here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, now this angle, this angle measures 70 degrees, right? I'm saying, how do you name this angle? Name this angle. Okay, let me name this angle for you. This angle X is called angle HEP or PEH. This angle is called angle HEP or PEH. Name this angle.
POH.
How POH? It's on this side, right? PO.
P, ma'am, we should first mark the T angle, so POT.
POT. And how do you name this angle A?
PAH or POH.
You cannot use this letter A, not this one. The vertices you must use. P. Repeat.
POH.
Okay. So now 70 degrees. This angle is called angle POT. Or you can also call this angle what? This can also be called angle TOP, correct? POT or TOP, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, similarly, this angle can be called angle HOP or POH, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So where is the angle formed, Kirtana? Where is the angle formed? It's formed at O. In both the ways, when you name these two angles, you can see the letter O is placed in the middle. POH, POT. Both the angles are formed at O. They have a common vertex O and the angles lie on a straight line. The two angles lie on a straight line. Both of them are formed at O. See, it's actually, so A plus 70 is 180. I cannot say that Z plus 70 is 180. Z and 70, they formed at different vertices. Z is formed at the vertex H and 70 is formed at the vertex O. We cannot add these two angles and use linear paraxium. To use linear paraxium, the two angles or the angles must be formed on a straight line at the same vertex. They must have the same vertex. Like here, A and 70 have the same vertex O. A and 70 degrees, they have the same vertex O. And A and 70, they lie on a straight line. So A plus 70 is equal to 180, linear pair axiom. Now, Keetna, is HOT a straight line? Is HOT a straight line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and this ray OP stands on it. See here, this ray OP stands on it. So
Yes.
on either sides of the ray, A and 70, A plus 70 is equal to 180.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you apply that here? X and Z. Clearly, X is formed at this vertex. Z is formed at this vertex.
Ma'am, we can create like a new angle in,
Yeah.
in the.
No, you cannot create. You can name an existing angle. Yes.
Ma'am, in the left side of is it we can do no, ma'am.
Yeah. Please tell me. Yes, you're right.
Let the angle be B, and
Okay.
so 55 degrees equal to B as they are opposite angles.
Very good. B is
And
equal to 55.
so B is equal to Z as they are linear pair.
Yeah.
And Z is equal to X as they are opposite angle.
No, you almost hit the answer. Completed correctly. You mark this, you call this B, you're right. Okay, and you said B is equal to 55 degrees because opposite angles are equal, you're right. Then how will you handle 55 degrees and Z?
Because they are linear pair, so we should, the sum of the linear pair, angles of a linear pair is equal to 180 degrees.
Yeah, so what is the next step? Yes.
So X plus B is equal to 180 degree.
Not X plus, not X.
Oh, sorry, B plus Z is equal to 180 degree.
Yeah.
B is equal to 55 degree plus X is equal to 180 degree. Sorry, Z is equal to 180 degree. Z is equal to 180 degree minus 55.
Okay, in the middle somewhere you did not say correctly, but I think you understood. Yes. So Z is equal to 180 minus 55, 125 degrees. Okay, Kirtana, thank you. What is the other way of finding Z, children?
Ma'am, Y and Z are alternate angles, ma'am.
Y and Z are alternate interior angles, so they are equal. See here, parallel line, transversal, parallel line. You can see a Z, parallel line, transversal, parallel line. Like this, parallel line, transversal, parallel line. See, you can see this parallel line. Because I zoom in, I can't use the. See here, parallel line. So here you have like this parallel line, transversal, parallel line. So these angles, this one and this one, these angles are alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Parallel line, transversal, parallel line. These two are parallel. These two lines are parallel. How is this parallel? How are these two lines parallel? Because opposite sides are parallel and this side is produced. This side is produced. These two sides are parallel. These two sides are parallel and this side is produced. So it's still, so these two lines are still parallel. Parallel line, parallel line. These two lines are parallel and this is the transversal. This is the transversal. A transversal is a line that touches both the intersects both the parallel lines. See here, this is the transversal. Parallel line, transversal, parallel line, alternate interior angles are equal. What's the other way of finding Z?
the coordinate angles, ma'am.
So you can see like this. This is X and this is Z. This is X. This is Z. You can see such a pattern here. Parallel lines, transversal, X and Z are corresponding angles. You can extend the lines to understand better. See, I've extended. See, I've extended this to understand better. So these are the parts. See this one and so this one, this line and this line. They are parallel lines. Opposite sides are parallel. So parallel lines and this one below. This one is a transversal. I've shown it here. Transversal. Corresponding angles are equal. You can see it here. Corresponding angles lie on the same side of the transversal. And both of them should lie below the lines or above the lines. So you can see that X and Z lie on the same side of the transversal. And both of them are below the parallel lines. They're not here. They're not above. These positions are above the parallel lines. These are above the parallel lines. These are also corresponding angles. They're equal. Here X and Z are corresponding angles and they're equal. So you can find Z using X or using Y. X is 125 degrees. So Z is 125 because corresponding angles are equal, or X is 125, Y is 125. Sorry, I was talking about Z, right? So X and Z are corresponding angles. So Z is 125, or Y and Z are alternate interior angles. So Z is 125. You can use any one of the two, corresponding angles or alternate interior angles. Yeah, children, this is the answer. Take a screenshot. Was this homework?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Raja, what's the value of X? Anish?
Ma'am?
Yeah, what's the value of X? You tried this homework problem?
Ma'am?
Raja, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, I can hear you, ma'am.
Yeah. This one was given as homework.
Ma'am, I'll work it before next class, ma'am. By today.
Okay, children, please do your homework promptly. Only then you can stay connected in the class.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Anish, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Devadarshini. Okay, Anish, you want to try this?
Yes, I'm marking it as homework, ma'am.
Okay. This was given as homework in the last class, child. Okay, no problem. Please, follow the instructions given in the class so that you're always connected with the class. If you do the homework, then you have the, you get a chance to participate in discussing the answers. Correct? When you complete the homework, then you too can participate when we discuss. So you stay connected in the class. You have the chance to interact. And interaction only keeps the class going lively. If I'm alone talking, it will be boring. Devadarshini. Okay, who wants to try this?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, shall I say it?
Yeah. Tell me. Yes.
Ma'am,
What's the
why
value?
is
No, I want you to find x first.
X?
Name. Give a special name to this quadrilateral.
Ma'am, shall I take it as ABCD?
No, 1 minute. We can do that, but before that, give me a special name to this quadrilateral. Oh no, not ABCD. That's not a special name. No.
Okay, ma'am, parallelogram.
Yeah, it is a parallelogram. A special name to this quadrilateral is a parallelogram because we can see both the pairs of opposite sides are marked parallel. Both pairs of opposite sides are marked parallel. So the special name which we can assign to this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, so when we are asked to give a name to the quadrilateral, yes, A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, S, they're also names. But a special name to this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, yes, Danya, what's the value of x? I want x first.
Ma'am, can I try, ma'am?
Yes, Raja.
Ma'am, x is equal to its opposite angle.
X is equal to which is the opposite angle?
Ma'am, 40 degree.
It's not like that. The parallelogram is this full thing. The full thing is the parallelogram. See here.
Ma'am,
1 minute. So see here, opposite angles are this one and this one. These are opposite angles. Now when there's a diagonal, when the diagonal is connected, this one and this one, they don't become alternate opposite angles. These two, they are not opposite angles. This is a triangle. This is a triangle. You're saying 40 and x. They are the angles in the triangle. They are not complete angles of the parallelogram. I told you, opposite angles are, these are opposite angles here. This angle is equal to this angle. Opposite angles are equal. This angle, this full angle is equal to this full angle. These are opposite angles, they're equal. These are x and 40 are not opposite angles. They are not complete angles of the parallelogram at all. So you cannot use it property.
yes,
They are not complete angles of the quadrilateral, x and 40. So that property cannot be used.
Ma'am, can I say?
Yes, Madhumita?
Ma'am, Z is equal to 28 degrees, ma'am.
Okay, so which means we cannot find x. Danya also said y first, right, Danya?
Yeah, ma'am, because we cannot find X, ma'am.
Yeah. So with the information given here, we cannot find x first. We like to find in the order x, y, z. But with the even information provided here in this figure, we cannot find x first. We have to find y or z in order to find x. Good, Danya. Yes, whoever wants to continue. Somebody was talking now. I think that was
Yes, ma'am.
Madhumita.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell.
Ma'am, Z is equal to 28 degrees, ma'am. Ma'am, how I said that is supplementary. They are supplementary. Adjacent angles are supplementary. So 112 degrees plus 40 degrees plus Z is equal to 180 degree. So
Yeah.
Z is equal to 28 degrees, ma'am.
Very good, very good. Okay. Danya, I'll ask you also. So children, see here. In a parallelogram, adjacent angles are supplementary. Adjacent angles. See here, this one and this one. These are adjacent angles. These are adjacent angles. They're supplementary. This is 112 degrees. I can't write. Yeah, this is 112 degrees. But this one is made up of two angles. This one is 40. This one is 40 and it's Z here. So 40 and Z together makes this angle. This angle is 40 and Z together. This is only one angle. This is one angle. But since you see the diagonal here, because of the diagonal, it's divided into two angles, 40 and Z. But otherwise, it's only one angle. See here, these are adjacent angles. This one and this one, these are adjacent angles. Next angles, adjacent angles. This full angle plus this full angle is equal to 180. This full angle plus this full angle is equal to 180. How much is this fully? 112. How much is this fully? Till here it is 40 and from here it's Z. So this complete angle is 40 plus Z. Though you are writing 40 plus Z, it's only one angle. 40 plus Z represents or it reflects only one angle. It's only this angle. This angle is 40 plus Z. This angle is 40 plus Z. This angle is 40 plus Z. This angle is 112. So 40 plus Z, which is one angle. Don't see it as two different angles. 40 plus Z plus 112 is equal to 180. Adjacent angles are supplementary. Adjacent angles are supplementary. So working this, you can find Z. Madhumita said 28 degrees. Okay. Yeah, Danya, please tell us how to find Y. Thank you, Madhumita. Good.
Ma'am, Y is 112 degrees, ma'am.
Because
Reason?
opposite angles, ma'am.
Opposite angles are equal, ma'am.
Opposite angles in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. So Y is 112 degrees. Very good. Now, how do we find X?
Ma'am, Z is equal to 28 degrees. X is also equal to 28 degrees, ma'am, because alternate angles, ma'am.
Alternate angles are equal. Alternate angles. So you can see here. So see that there is a parallel line, transversal, parallel line. See here this one. We are talking about this one. Parallel line, transversal, parallel line. I've shown only that portion here. Parallel line. This is the parallel line. Transversal, parallel line. So you can, two angles are formed. There's one angle formed here and there's one angle formed here. This angle is X. This angle is X. And this angle is Z. This angle is Z. You can watch this figure carefully. And these are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. Parallel line, transversal, parallel line. See here. You can see the Z. You can see one angle formed here that's marked X and another angle here that's Z. And by the position, these are alternate interior angles. And they're equal. Alternate interior angles are equal. So X is equal to Z. X is equal to Z. X is equal to Z. So since we found Z is 28 degrees, X is also 28 degrees.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, 112, ma'am. Then Y is also 112 because opposite angles are equal.
Yeah.
And, for finding X, we can use adjacent angles supplementary, ma'am.
No, I thought you were saying angle sum property of a triangle. You can also use angle sum property in a triangle. X plus Y plus 40 is equal to 180. What did you say? Adjacent angles. Come again?
Adjacent angles are supplementary, ma'am. We can use that property, ma'am, here. For finding X, ma'am.
Yeah. Disable your mic.
Ma'am?
Disable your mic. Yeah, so this is 112 fully. This one is 112. This one is completely 112. Is this and this are adjacent angles, but is the whole angle X? Is this whole angle X?
No, ma'am. Only a portion of it is X.
Yeah, only a portion of it is X. Then we cannot use that property because we do. If X is this whole angle, yes, then we can use. If X is this whole angle. So 112 plus this angle is 180, correct? But X does not represent this entire angle. X represents only a part or a portion of this angle. So we cannot use that property here to find X.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, most welcome. You can also find x using angle sum property in a triangle. In this triangle, x plus y plus 40. X plus y plus 40 is a triangle. The sum of the three angles in a triangle is equal to 180. So x plus y plus 40 is equal to 180. We know y is 112 degrees. So on substituting and solving, you can find the value of x, which will be 28 degrees. Take a screenshot, children. Okay. Give a special name to this figure. Give a special name to this figure.
Ma'am, it's a parallelogram.
It's a parallelogram. Why?
The sides are marked parallel, ma'am.
Opposite sides are marked parallel. So it's a parallelogram. If I say I don't agree with you, please think again. It is a parallelogram. But when you're asked to give a, supposing it's a square. Supposing, a square is given to you and you're asked to give a special name. If you say parallelogram, you're partly right. You must say specifically that it is a square.
Ma'am, because the arrow shows that they are equal, ma'am.
No, see now, if I show you a living thing, okay, I pointed to a living thing, maybe a human being or a plant or an animal or some insect or a bird. So say I'm pointing out and you say it's an animal. No, I don't want you to say it's an animal. I want you to specifically say it's a lion or a tiger or a cat or a dog. I want you to be specific. Your answer animal is correct. Your answer is right. Animal, fine, but animal more specifically. No. In a kite, opposite sides are not parallel. In a kite, opposite sides are not parallel.
Ma'am, is it rectangle?
What you have to justify? How do you say it's a rectangle? Can you see the corners marked 90 degrees? No. So you cannot say it's a rectangle or a square because you cannot see the corners marked 90 degrees. At least one corner should be marked 90. Only if one angle is marked, one corner angle is marked, corner meaning this angle here.
Ma'am, rhombus, ma'am.
Why? It can be rhombus. Why?
Because its opposite sides are equal, ma'am.
Where we can't see where opposite sides are equal. It's not marked, right?
Ma'am, is it trapezium, ma'am?
No. In a trapezium, only one pair of opposite sides is parallel. Do we all understand the meaning of the symbol? This one? What does it mean when this symbol is used?
That's 90 degree, ma'am.
We all know that, right? Okay. This is 90 degrees. Then what is the difficulty? Tell me. In which figure do the diagonals bisect at right angles?
Square, ma'am.
Square and?
Square, ma'am.
Square and
Rectangle, ma'am.
Rhombus, ma'am. Rhombus, ma'am.
rhombus. In a rhombus and in a square, the diagonals bisect at right angles. In a rhombus, see in these two figures, all the sides are equal. You can remember like that. In these two figures, all sides are equal. So in both these figures, the diagonals bisect at right angles. In both these figures, the diagonals bisect at right angles. And that's what you see. Now you cannot say it's a square because if it's a square, a corner, at least one of the corners must be marked 90 degrees. At least one corner here should be marked 90. So you don't know about these angles. You don't know if these angles are 90 degrees. Nothing is marked. You know in a rectangle and in a square, the corner angles, all the angles are 90 degrees. So you have to decide between a rhombus and a square. You have to decide because the diagonals, see it's indicated here, the diagonals, they meet at right angles. See, it's a parallelogram already. It's already a parallelogram. So diagonals bisect each other at right angles because it's marked 90. Now you will wonder, how do you know that the diagonals bisect each other? Yeah, because it's a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel. It is a parallelogram. And if it is a parallelogram, we know that the diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other and at right angles. It's a parallelogram, so diagonals bisect each other and at right angles because you can see it's marked here. So this figure is a rhombus. It's not a square. You cannot say it may be a square, but you cannot justify. When you say it's a square, you cannot justify. It can be a square, but one angle, at least one corner angle should have been shown 90 degrees. Only then you can say, you can justify it's a square. So for now, it is only a rhombus. It is a parallelogram. You're not wrong. It is a parallelogram. More specifically, it's a rhombus. A rhombus is also a parallelogram in which the diagonals bisect at right angles. Diagonals bisect at right angles. Convinced all of you that it's a rhombus?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a parallelogram, correct. But a special name, the most appropriate name for this figure is a rhombus, because we can see that the diagonals, they bisect. Why do we use that word bisect? Because it's a parallelogram. So they bisect each other. They bisect, they don't simply bisect, they bisect at right angles. We can see it marked here. So it's a rhombus. So it is a rhombus. So now what do you say about the four triangles? What do you say about the four triangles? What do you say about the four triangles?
Ma'am, they are created by the diagonals.
No, the four triangles are all right triangles. Yes or no? Because if this is 90, this also is 90. This is 90. This is 90.
Yes, ma'am.
All the four angles would measure 90 now. Always in a rhombus, all these four angles. This is 90, 90, 90, 90. So these four triangles are right triangles. This one is a right triangle because it's right angle here. This is a right triangle because it's right angle here. This is a right triangle here. This is a right triangle, right angle here. Only one angle is given to be 90, but from that all the angles are 90 degrees. Now what's the measure of x?
90 degrees.
Yeah, very good. How do we find y? Using
Angle sum property, ma'am.
angle sum property. X is equal to 90. X is equal to 90. X is equal to 90.
Ma'am, it's 60 degree, ma'am.
Yeah, x is 90, we understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, x is equal to 90 because it's a rhombus. X is 90 because it's a rhombus. Diagonals bisect at right angles. Y you can find using angle sum property. X plus y plus 30 is equal to 180.
X is equal to
60 degrees.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, now how do we find Z? See here?
Z is also 60 degrees, ma'am, because their angles are a transversal. Interior angle of a transversal.
Yeah, you can see it. parallel line, transversal, parallel line. So here is y, here is y, and here is z. Here is z. You can see here, see this one, parallel line, transversal, parallel line. See that alone. This side okay, see, I'm talking about this one, parallel line, transversal, parallel line, this one. Parallel line, transversal, parallel line. So you can see here, y and z, they are alternate interior angles. Y and z are alternate interior angles. Y and z are alternate interior angles. So they are equal. So y is 60 degrees, y is 60, z is also 60 degrees. Can you make out the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Parallel line, transversal, parallel line. So here, this angle, this one and this one. Alternate interior angles are equal. So x is equal to 90 degrees because it's a rhombus. Diagonals bisect at right angles. Y you can find using angle sum property in a triangle. Z alternate angles are equal. Yeah, you can also say vertically opposite angles, children. What are vertically opposite angles? See here. They're opposite to each other, no? These two. 1 minute. So these two angles, they're opposite to each other. Vertically opposite angles are equal. You can also say that. This is 90, so vertically opposite angles. See here, when two lines meet like this angle is equal to this angle. Vertically opposite angles are equal. And this angle is equal to this angle. Vertically opposite angles are equal. When two lines intersect, simply when two lines intersect, they can meet like this also. When two lines meet like this, vertically, this angle is equal to this angle. This angle is equal to this angle. See here, this is 90. So vertically opposite angles, this also will be 90. This also is 90. Vertically opposite angles are equal. You can also say it's a rhombus. So in a rhombus, all these angles are 90 degrees. 90, 90, 90, 90. What was the reason? Okay, take a screenshot, children. This we discussed in the last class, so take a screenshot. Opposite sides are equal.
Ma'am, can you show the previous one? Ma'am,
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Give a special name to this quadrilateral. What is ABCD?
It's a parallelogram.
It's a parallelogram because opposite sides are marked parallel. I'll just get back, children. Think about this one, work this and have your answer ready. Yes, children. So you need to work this using the property of the diagonals, how the diagonals behave in a parallelogram. Tell me the properties of the diagonals in a parallelogram.
Diagonals are unequal.
Okay, diagonals are unequal, correct. Then?
Diagonals bisect each other, not at right angle.
Correct, they bisect each other. That means O is the midpoint of AC. O is the midpoint of AC, O is the midpoint of BD. O is the midpoint of AC. O is also the midpoint of BD. So if O is the midpoint of AC, that means what? AO is equal to OC because it's a midpoint. AO is equal to OC. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
AO is equal to OC. That means X plus Y is equal to 16. X plus Y is equal to 16.
Yes.
Similarly, O is the midpoint of BD. That means OB
OB is equals to OD, ma'am.
is equal to OD. OB is equal to OD. So because it's a parallelogram, the diagonals bisect each other. That means they'll have the same midpoint. O, where they meet, the diagonals meet at O. O is the midpoint of AC. O is also the midpoint of BD. This happens in a parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, and a square because all are parallelograms. A rhombus is a parallelogram, a rectangle is a parallelogram, a square is a parallelogram. So in all these figures, where the diagonals meet. So like here, the diagonals meet at O. O will be the midpoint of both the diagonals. O is the midpoint of AC. O is also the midpoint of BD. So using this property, we construct equations. Y plus 7 is equal to 20. X plus Y is equal to 16. So when you work Y plus 7 is equal to 20. When you work this, you find the value of Y. And then when you substitute the value of Y here, you can find the value of X.
Ma'am, y is equal to 13 and x is equal to 7, ma'am.
X is 3, ma'am.
X3, maybe some calculation mistake. Check.
Ma'am, x is 7.
X is equal to 3, ma'am.
Very good. Okay. Good children. Good, good. Please go through the steps. So here these angles are not marked. We have marked them later. This is not marked. This is not marked. This one and this one, they're not marked. Yeah. In the figure given in the question, these two angles are not marked. Later we mark them. Yeah. RISK and CLUE are parallelograms. Look at them. Where is RISK? RISK, okay. RISK is a parallelogram, okay. And then C, it's here. RISK. This one is a parallelogram. Yes, it is a parallelogram. And then this one, CLUE. This one, CL. I'm just scribbling there because you get the feeling. Otherwise, this one is a parallelogram. So you can see one here, one on this side. You can see one here, RISK is a parallelogram. Here, CLUE is a parallelogram. We need to find the value of X. You can see that X is an angle in a triangle. X is an angle in a triangle. So children, if I mark this as A, if I mark this one as A, tell me the value of A. If I mark this as A, now you will wonder why should we mark this? There are so many other angles which are not marked. Why to mark this one as A? I'll tell you the reason, because we need to find X, and X is contained in this triangle, in this triangle. X is contained in this triangle. So to find X, if we find this angle, which we'll mark A, and this angle which we'll mark B. If you can find A and B, then you can use the angle sum property. A plus B plus X is equal to 180. You can use that property and find X. That is why we are trying to find A and B. All right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, children.
Ma'am, B and 120 are coordinate angles, ma'am.
B and
120, ma'am.
R, what angles?
Coordinate angles, ma'am.
Oh, I'm not getting that word clearly. 120 and B are what angles?
Coordinate angles, ma'am.
No, I don't understand that. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll just get back to you if I understand. So I'm saying, what is the measure of this angle? And what is the measure of this angle? Find anything first. If I mark this as B and this one as A, what's the measure of this angle? What's the measure of this angle?
Ma'am, A is 70, ma'am.
A 70.
70 degree, ma'am, because 70 is alternate to A, ma'am.
Which is, I've marked this one, which is A? This one, huh? What is this?
Ma'am, this one is B, I think, ma'am. And
This is B. This one
yes,
is A.
Yes, ma'am. A is alternate to 70, ma'am.
Okay, children, I don't want any order. I want A and B. What are the measures of A and B? That's it. Only if you know A and B, you can find X.
Ma'am, B is equal to 70 degrees, ma'am, because they're opposite angles.
Yeah, B is equal to 70 degrees because they're the opposite angles of which parallelogram?
Parallelogram CLUE, clue, ma'am.
Yeah, in parallelogram CLUE, in parallelograms, see only that parallelogram, that's all. You should see only that one. Don't see the other lines coming. See, in this parallelogram, this is L, which is 70 degrees, and this is B. So opposite angles are equal. Don't see the other lines coming. Don't see this line. Like, for example, not finding the pointer. Don't see this line. Don't see this one. Don't see this line. See only this parallelogram. This parallelogram. So opposite angles, this one and this one, they're opposite angles, they're equal. Opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. So this is 70 degrees and this is B. So B is equal to 70 degrees, opposite angles are equal. Then what is the relation between 120 and A? What is the relation between 120 and A?
They are adjacent angles, ma'am.
Yeah, so see here, there's another parallelogram like this. There's another parallelogram like this. This is marked 120. This is marked 120. And this one is marked B. This one is marked B. So you can see it here, RISK. You can see that this is R, this is R, this is I, this is S, and this is K. You can check it for yourself. Don't see this line, that's all. Don't ignore this one which is coming in the middle. All of you should be able to make out this pattern. RISK. Yeah?
Ma'am, A is equal to 60 degrees, ma'am.
This is A, sorry, not B. This is A.
Ma'am, A is equal to 60 degrees because angle K and angle S are supplementary, ma'am. They are adjacent angles.
It is equal to 16, ma'am.
Yeah, adjacent angles are supplementary. Adjacent angles are supplementary. So you should see the parallelogram separately. See them separately. Look at RISK separately. RISK separately. Then you can make out that 120 and A. 120 and A, they are adjacent angles. So they are supplementary. So A is equal to 60 degrees. 120 plus A is equal to 180. A is 60. So once you find A and B, you can find X.
X is equal to 50 degrees, ma'am.
Very good. Yes. So this is there are two parallelograms. There are two. This is one parallelogram, and this is the other parallelogram. Do we understand, children? See, you should be good with the properties. Yeah, the properties must be, at your fingertips or at your tongue tips. Only if you see, we are applying the properties everywhere. So it's all about being responsible. If you're doing your work on a regular basis, then I'm sure you will be able to understand. If you're not able to pick up the subject and study on your own, give that responsibility to one of your parents or anybody at home. Ask your elder sibling or somebody to remind you or somebody to motivate you to practice regularly. You should be responsible. You're an 8th standard. You should be responsible. But supposing there is that reluctance to practice, you're feeling lazy, you don't want to practice, it's boring. Just share your thoughts with your elders and get motivated. Ask them to plan for you. You're not able to plan how to go about the subjects, how to go about studying. Ask your elders to make a timetable or do some sort of a planning. And you follow that plan. So that way you will make sure that you're studying on a daily basis. That is very important. To take up the class and to understand what I'm saying, you should know the properties which we have discussed earlier. So either you're going to, take up the responsibility on you by yourself, meaning you know that you have to study in order to follow the next class. If you're not able to do that, please get help from your elders and make sure that you're studying on a daily basis. And when this subject is concerned, at least now whatever we learned today, by the next class you should have gone through everything. You should be prepared to take up the next class. Only then you're ready to take on some more new concepts. Yes. Is MNOP a trapezium? 1 minute, just a minute, children. I'm unsharing and I'll just share a different file. Just a minute. Tell me the pairs of corresponding angles here, children. Can you see two parallel lines?
Ma'am, 2, 6 and 1, 5, ma'am.
2 and 6, 1 and 5 are what angles?
Corresponding angles, ma'am.
They are corresponding angles. 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. 1 and 5 are corresponding angles. There will be 4 pairs. There are 4 pairs of
3 and 7, ma'am. 4, 8, 3, 7, ma'am.
Yeah. So these angles in these positions. Now here M is parallel to N cut by a transversal L. 2 and 6 are corresponding angles and they're equal because the lines are parallel. Even if the lines are not parallel, 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. 2 and 6 by their position, they are corresponding angles. If the lines are parallel, they are equal. If the lines are not parallel, they are not equal. But their relationship holds. They are corresponding angles. 2 and 6, the angles in these positions, 2 and 6, they are corresponding angles. They are corresponding angles. If the lines are parallel, the angles are equal. If the lines are not parallel, the angles are not equal. So here M is parallel to N. So corresponding angles are equal. Angle 2 is equal to angle 6. Angle 3 is equal to 7. Corresponding angles. See here both the angles are above. 2 and 6 above the lines. Corresponding angles. 3 and 7 below the lines on the same side of the transversal. Corresponding angles. 1 and 5 corresponding angles. 4 and 8 corresponding angles. Tell me the pairs of alternate interior angles.
4 and 6, 3 and 5, ma'am.
4 and 6, 3 and 5.
Yes,
Angle 4 is equal to angle 6. Angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Alternate interior angles are equal. And what about alternate exterior angles?
1 and 7, 2 and 8, ma'am.
1 and 7, 2 and 8.
Yes, ma'am.
What about allied angles? Co-interior angles?
4 and 5, ma'am. 3 and 6.
4 and 5, 3 and 6. Now this is your task. What you have to do is by the next class, draw the same figure, mark them M and N are parallel lines, L is a transversal, mark off the angles like this. So list out the pairs of corresponding angles. You will have 4 pairs of corresponding angles, 4 pairs of alternate angles. You will have 2 pairs of alternate interior angles, 2 pairs of alternate exterior angles. Then allied angles. Allied angles, only 2 pairs you will have. 4 pairs of corresponding angles, 4 pairs of alternate angles, that is alternate interior and alternate exterior. 2 pairs of allied angles. So use your 7th standard NCERT textbook. Find this. It is in your NCERT textbook of 7th standard class 7. Go through this and yeah, we'll discuss the same in the next class. All right, children, thank you so much. So that's it for today's session. We have Devadarshini, Danya, Madhumita, Raja, and Sindhu and Sanjay. Kirtana is not there. Anish is also not there. All right. All right, children, that's it for today's session. Thank you so much. You may leave the call.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, children.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.